All right, we're ready to rock and roll. Good morning, everyone. On socials, in the Discord, happy Thursday. We are over midway of the trading week, and a few things that we have to pay attention to. Right, we got the Fed meeting is gone, has been and gone. Not much happened with the market. Just that we knew. I think the market priced in um, the whole hold of interest rate, Fed rate decision, right? We knew it was going to probably be a pause. They weren't going to lower the rate, and they probably weren't going to raise it. So I think the market was pricing that in already, that we're going to just not change, unchanged. Um, and then I think Fed Powell was not really aggressive on anything he said. So I think the market was just pretty much waiting for earnings at that point with Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla. So it was action-packed Wednesday. Did anyone tune into any of the earnings streams yesterday? I mean, we had Tesla mentioning that they're going to shut shop for the Model S and I think the Model X. And they're going to turn that manufacturing into use for Optimus, which is their robotic stuff, right? So they're gonna stop making those cars, those particular models, the older models, probably I think they're the first two models, and then they're going to push that towards robotics. So we have Tesla. I think the last time I checked yesterday, I didn't check this morning yet. I think Tesla was nice and green. On earnings, Meta was nice and green. I sold my position yesterday, but it had a nice pump up to I think the 730s yesterday with Meta. So we can check that out this morning and see if there's any potential trade for options there to make some money. And then Microsoft had, I think they were good earnings, but I think it was more of a mixed guidance, I believe, capping some of their growth on certain things, their products. So I think Microsoft was the only one that kind of fell off, right? Yeah. So if we look at Microsoft chart, it's down 7%, right? So I think there could be potential here for Microsoft to trade Microsoft, maybe a reversal today if the volume comes in. And I'm just going to let people roll in. Welcome everyone to the morning stream. We're going to go through watch list trades. We're going to go through some option setups using the strategy, right? So pretty much the strategy that I always mention and I am very consistent with is the SMA 20 ribbon strategy, along with VWAP, using VWAP with day trading as well. So the good thing about this SMA 20 is it's versatile. So you can use it swing trading, day trading, long-term investment trading. It can be used for a lot of different styles, and that's why I like it so much, and that's why I push this out a lot and teach this one a lot, is because you can use it on multiple different fronts in trading, and it doesn't just have to be swing trading. It could be used on like the 2 or 3 minute for day trading. It can be used on the weekly, on the monthly and the weekly for long-term swing trading. It can be used short-term swing trading on the hourly and 2 hourly, maybe the 30-minute time frame for entries, but there would be shorter-term swings. So it can be used in all type of styles. And every Thursday, I have the live stream with the coaching program to review maybe the week before the trades that we got into, potential trades off the screen based on that strategy, and then answering any questions or just showing a few different added techniques that we can use for our trading. So that's every Thursday, 11 o'clock, right after this stream. And then every day, obviously, we trade, right? So welcome to everyone that just joined as well. So I'm going to look into Microsoft. Let's see what Microsoft is doing. Let's have a look what they say in the earnings. Maintain 590 overweight. Earnings were beat. Cloud growth was the slightly slowed on the revenue growth, right? So that's probably what they're looking at, that there could be a cap right now on that cloud growth. So potentially that's probably why we got a drop on maybe guidance there, a little bit weak of a guidance. But I'd be looking at this level here across the board. This would be I put this level here just because we've bounced off of it several times, right here, right here, right here. So this is a very good demand zone right now based on pre-market and after hours yesterday. We've seen some demand right off this level, and that is around what's that, 445, right? So I'd be looking for a loss of that after market opens to potentially play downside move continuation, or we look to trade this above, say, 450. I think let's just go to the wicks here. Let's go up to about here. Yeah, let's go to about here. So that's above the SMA 20, above VWAP. It's already dropping off right now, right, with this candle. But that can all get sucked right back up after market open. So I'll be looking for a move above here for Microsoft to play upside. It's already, man, this is falling pretty hard already since we looked at it, which sucks because we can't get into this trade yet, right? So just have to wait, be a little patient. And this will be that resistance level to get through this box. This is the demand, which it's actually broke right through just now. So potentially, if it gets sucked back up, we can look for it to retest and then fall down from a retest of that area here. If it bounces all the way through, I won't be jumping into no puts because it could go right back, shoot right back up, right? So I'll be watching this after market opens. We got about 2 minutes. And let me look at the contracts for Microsoft. Let's just queue this up. Long term, I like Microsoft, but today there could be option trades to downside or upside. So we might as well just plan for that. Let's see what we got. So we don't have, the prices haven't updated yet, right? So we got to wait for those contract prices to update. But I'll look for 460 calls. And I'd likely go for January tomorrow, right? January 30th. Why not just do the weekly? If we get a nice big bump above 450, we can get a nice play right there. And then if we lose, well, we already lost it. But if we retest this 445 and reject off that 445, I will play 440 puts for January 30th. And this is Microsoft, by the way, guys. So let's see. We got about 5 seconds. Let's see what happens. Preferably, I would like to see this bounce back up to 445 reject, play puts off the 445 rejection. If it bounces right through it, no put in play, I'll be looking to maybe take calls if we break through 450. So right now, I'm not going to jump into these puts knowing that these big giant red candles already formed. I want a little retest up here first and then potentially trading it. So we're dropping pretty hard. Oh, yeah. So looking just at the strategy, here is where it lost that bullishness under this ribbon turned red from green, right? And then it got this bearish signal here on this 3-minute channel, and there's no bullish signal since then. So it's just been dropping off since then. And then the RSI is it's very oversold, but you can see it lost that 50 strength right here on the RSI as well. It's dropped off there, and it dropped off here. So strategy wise, it's a clean breakdown at the moment. We may not get the retest. Let's see. I think I have SPY on here as well. SPY's a little bit green. Tesla's falling off a little bit too. Let's see what Tesla's got. What level Tesla? Okay, so Tesla is going to be volatile as hell, I think, today. So probably 435 pivot to the downside for puts. This pivot here to the downside. This is a very good demand zone. It's resistance yesterday as well. So if we lose 435 downside towards that 430, if we can recapture the I'd say above like 440, then potentially to a 440, 441.50, and then towards the 444 for potential upside reversal on Tesla. And then knowing that we reached all the way up here to 448, this could be continuation for a bonus target to the upside up towards that 450. So as long as the trend, the volume continues to move upside, you can just raise up a stop behind the trade and stay in as long as possible, right? Not jump off when there's no reason to jump off. If it's showing strength and it keeps breaking through resistances, the best way to do it for me personally is just raise up my stop behind, protect my profit, but also try to get more out of it as much as I can. I didn't talk about SPY yet. I just talked about Tesla and I talked about Microsoft. Microsoft is just dropping off. So for me, I just can't get into this trade because I really wanted a bump right back up to then jump into this Microsoft put. But it's just falling and falling. And I don't want to catch the bottom of this reversal. So I'm just going to stay away from Microsoft. But it was a very clean move on that breakdown under this level, right? And I just drew this in based off yesterday's movement and then pre-market. I would have loved for that to happen right after market open, and we would have cleanly got into this trade and made some like a ton of money there on just one or two contracts. So shame I couldn't get into that one. Meta is still moving up. Let's see what Meta's doing. Meta is still stacked a little bearish now. It's under the SMA 20 ribbon, under under the VWAP as well. But I see that one's the strongest one out of all of them anyway. So look at this breakdown for Tesla right under that 435 pivot. And we got a nuke right down to 430. Nuke. That was quick. I don't know how I feel about them cutting production of their cars and then focus on their robotic stuff. I'm not sure if that's the way to go, knowing that they got already income from those vehicles already, and now they're going to build robotics in there, and they haven't got that guaranteed revenue. Maybe long term, good, but I think short term, not good. So if we lose this 430, guys, we have room to 425. Like another $5 nuke could definitely come right after that. It's down to 429. Tesla's just tanking. And along with that, what are you going to see? You're going to start to see SPY start to lose as well. You're going to start to see SPY start to drop off as well, which you can already see. SPY, we lost this support demand zone here. We lost, we can't, this is all the resistance up here, but there's no need to put that because it's not moving up there. So at the moment, SPY looks like it's in a free fall at this moment in time. And we could potentially come down to fill this gap, right? We have a gap. I love gaps. We have this potential gap right here, all the way down to 694.50s. So unless these big boys start to pick up some volume, we're going to start to see SPY just follow behind with drop off. Tesla just keeps on making a lower day. Microsoft trying to bounce here from the 430 level. Tesla's still losing. Yeah. Your Weeble's acting up at the wrong time. From the watch list trades, Austin Gold is one that took off pretty nicely from the watch list trade. Above 3, we got all the way to 341 on that watch list that I put out this morning. So that is a winner right there, from 3 to 341. Over 10% profit on that gold stock. Just a lot of volatility there. We take advantage of that. The volume came through, that ripped right through that. So that was real nice there. You also have like TRX that is running. That's another gold stock that's running up today. So as you can see, commodities, silver, gold, minerals, critical minerals stocks are moving still to the upside. Copper's one that's outperforming as well. So you can see where the money is flowing into here. Those metals. So a Tesla, we got $3 more for that nuke down to 425. And SPY's barely green, it's going red now. So let me see here. What can we do on this one? Let's see on Microsoft what we can do on this trade. Go on the daily and have a look. Looks like more downside is coming for Microsoft because nothing there to hold it up. No support near that area. So be a kind of a dead cat bounce kind of play if we start moving up a little bit. So I'll let you guys know when I'm in a trade. I'm just watching at the moment. This is interesting stuff to watch. The only one that's holding up is Meta. Tesla's nearly down to that nuke target of 425. We're $1 off. This has been a great pivot from that 435, nearly $10 down from that entry to the downside for puts. And I wanted, with coaching also, you can teach your overall strategy, but we really want you to learn to know what to pick, especially option trading. I can give you these levels, but then I want to put it on you guys to find that contract, the expiration, and your entry and your targets, and where's your max risk that if it doesn't go your way, where are you stopping out, and are you going to make sure that you execute that plan? Because that's what happens. You get into a trade, you don't really have a plan, and then all you do is keep adjusting the plan throughout the whole trade, and that's failing for me. So building a plan before getting into it and executing it by that plan is success. Even if you take a loss, you admit it, you controlled that loss, even if it went against you, and you're not adjusting your stop loss, or you're not changing your whole plan halfway through. So if you can just plan a trade like this, like I put out the idea, then it's on you to look at the contract, look at the expiration, and then take that trade, execute it by your plan. Not me just saying, buy here, sell there. I really want you guys to do this by yourself and not having to rely on one of us to say, buy, I'm selling, I'm taking profit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So nuke down, we got the Tesla fully nuked down to 425. That's a $10 drop from our entry of 435. You should be up hundreds of percent at that point. What pins is dropping? Roblox. We talked about Roblox on our premium live stream yesterday, and we got a nice put trade under 76 bucks for a put trade yesterday. What is United at? Because I still got that one put. So I know there was 20% plus on those puts yesterday, but I still kept mine. So we're going red on United today. Let's have a look at SPY. So gap fill opportunity all the way down to 694.50s. That will fill the gap that it created overnight from after hours closing right here, opening up at 4 a.m. right here. That's the gap. And SPY loves to fill gaps, right? We know that SPY loves filling gaps up, down, wherever it is. It likes to come back and fill that gap along the way. So we can see here it's pretty much filled the gap. 3/4 of the gap is filled already. Good for you on calls. That's dangerous, but good for you there. So those United puts, let's have a look what they're at from yesterday. Still got one. Everything's kind of falling today. It's a little bit green, those United. They were up about 20% yesterday, but here we go. Fully gap filled. Bam, right there. This is the gap filled right here. That was a nice trade, gap fill trade on SPY. And all I'm doing is waking up early, guys, and getting these levels set out. That is a major level. If we didn't hold that level pre-market right here, then things got real bearish for a down trade. And you don't need to be scared of trading SPY. All you need to be doing is having a strategy and plan that works consistently on everything that you trade, and then you won't feel stress, you won't feel anxiety, you won't feel as much emotion, right? Emotion's always going to be there no matter what, but it will be less controlling over you. Meta puts 60%, good stuff. So this is how it could do it. Now we take these trades, right? We planned out the trade. We take the trade. We don't even need a trade for the rest of the day. SPY is nuking now. This is just extra profit at this point that we've taken. Tesla's holding 425. Microsoft is pushing a little bit here, but SPY is still nuking. So not good here. Just direct sell side volume right from market open. There's no buying yet in these volume, right? So this is not going to bounce until we start to see more green come in here. Why would I buy calls if I know that the volume is super sell side, strong to the sell side? I'm not going to be a Superman, superhero here trying to guess the bottom. I'm going to just trade that trend until it starts to reverse again. So like right here, maybe we get something here very weak right there, right? But potentially on SPY here, we could bounce right here. That's around 693.30. We'll see. Maybe not. All right, good stuff. So this is how easy it can become. And you traded what for like 15 minutes? Maybe you're still in the trade, just continuation at this point. There's no losses going to happen. But you joined the stream. We done the setups. You made some money. Now it's probably time to move on with your day, right? Who cares about staying on and trying to force another trade? United still in the free fall. Those United calls are now puts are now up about 12% for the day. If you kept those Roblox puts from yesterday, if any of you got into them during my stream, then they're up about 62%. So let's have a look at Intel. I've got to look at Intel here to see what's going on. Let me just build a block here. A little bounceroo on Intel. I think that we got some wicks here, so maybe we want to wait for this to drop off under 47.50. But Intel's earnings were garbage, so I don't expect it. I mean, the only way it's going to move up is just if government decides to grab more stake in the company, right? Pretty much government owned at that point. But I will be looking to take some Intel puts here if we lose this 47.50 or 47.44. Let's just wait till it loses the low of day. Then I like to trade some Intel down, potentially down here, even lower maybe. See what we got. Let's see if I can get a live trade out of this one if we decide to continue to drop off a little bit here. And once we lose here, these will be my target points all the way down here. First target, second target. I'll look to take, let's have a look. Intel. Let's go to Intel. Let's have a look at the options. Let's go for, this will be a day trade. Only if this plays out, if we lose this, right? I'm just going to plan it though, just in case. I'll probably go $47 puts for tomorrow. Let's see what they're priced at. They're like $40 a contract, very cheap. I think it's stacked more bearish. Let's have a look. Yeah, so the option chain is stacked more bearish at this point. There's a lot of volume and open interest on the downside. We'll see what happens. Oh, so Intel's moving up, so nothing to see to the downside yet. Tesla start to reverse. Microsoft's falling off still. SPY is trying to bounce here as well, right off that level. Actually, probably could have moved it down. It probably would have matched that better, that wick. Let's have a look on the 2-minute time frame. See what we get. Yeah, it's a reversal on SPY. Anyone take profit today? Anyone make money on the downside moves for any of those? Tesla, SPY? You could have just picked any of them. SPY, Meta dropped a little bit now. Microsoft dropped. Tesla dropped. A lot of them dropped off this morning. SPY is going to go towards that low of day again. I think, what did I make here? Made $800 today. Meta's the only one they're really holding up. Let's see what we can get out of SPY. That's a very strong level there. We lose 692.40. We have a lot of room to move down here for more continuation to the downside to about 690. 690, like 1 would be my next level if we lose this 692.40. So we lose these lows here. We have, that's not that much move. That's about, what's that, $1.40. That could be a nice continuation for SPY puts there if we lose 692.40. Any questions you guys have, let me know in the chat. Right now, I'm just going to watch SPY for a drop below that 692.41. A good contract will probably be about 691 puts, either for tomorrow, or if you want to have a little bit more time, then look for maybe Monday's expiration on these. United continues to fall down as well. So if you, I didn't sell my put, but they are up to about $4 a contract from the low threes that we got into yesterday. So they're still yielding us some good results, United, and they expire tomorrow, so I would have to take profit likely today on these. Although we could see much more of a nuke, probably down to the low 280s possibly again. I'm going to run out of time, so I'm going to have to take profit on these today. But that looks very bearish. If you look at the 10-minute chart on United or the 5-minute chart, you can see that it was a nice bump up, reversal from this support down here about 280. But now we're starting to fall right back down again on United. So kind of looks like a H pattern if you look at it from the bigger time frame, right? We got this. Got this, we got the little dead cat bounce, and we may start doing that. When it's all said and done, we have to see how it plays out today. Let's go down to SPY. It's losing that 692.41. Let's see if we can see a continuation on this candle before jumping in. Let me have a look at the contracts here. Have a little bit of cash left. Look at SPY. Microsoft down to low, day 428. Let's go to SPY. Tomorrow's expiration. 692. Well, maybe we go 691, a little cheaper. Go down to a 2-minute time frame. A nice bounce right off that level. Still sat bearish though, right? We're still way below the SMA 20. MAC and then RSI is very oversold, and it's just now moving into the block, the regular block between 30 and 70, right? So mid-range is 50. So we would like to see it go above 50 to be more bullish on a reversal for SPY. So we could get a nice bounce here, but if we move on the RSI 50 and reject off the 50, that's just a quality downside reversal setup that you can just take advantage of again. It can be so simple. Out of curiosity, I've been seeing a lot of information floating around about oil and gas and tokenize. What's your opinion on that? I don't really have an opinion on that. I don't even know about that situation, so I'd have to do a little digging before I can give you my opinion. That's interesting. Don't think that will happen anytime soon, but it'd be interesting. I think instead of tokenizing and wasting their time on that, they should probably waste their time on unemployment rate getting higher, jobs getting lost. People need that stability, job creation. So I think the government need to focus on stuff that matters to the people instead of themselves. So I don't know about oil and gas. I have to do a little digging there, OG, on that. But there's a lot of hand-me-outs going on around town in Washington. Oh man, feed went right through the roof again, huh? Let me see the top gainers here. So I'm queuing up those puts, 691 puts for tomorrow's expiration. As soon as we lose this level again, 692.40, I take it down and I would aim for 691. NASDAQ is dropping off. All of them are dropping off pretty nicely. Here we go. Nice follow through on this candle. I like it. Those two 691 puts. It looks like a very bearish day out there today. Also, there may be a government shutdown. We see what happens there, but it looks like continuation's coming right into this one. Let's see if we can get to that 691. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Thank you for hanging out, Michelle. Tesla down to a new low of day, 423. Anyone take advantage of Tesla's drop? That was a huge, huge nuke. Look at that. We're just losing all the levels. We lost that level from yesterday's drop after earnings, like that pre jitter that you get before earnings are released. That's kind of what we got, right? We got down to that wick low of 425 and bounce all the way up to 450 nearly. But now we're in the void. There's like nothing really to hold it up here. We got levels here we can add to the mix, 420 down to here, 417. And this could definitely come pretty quick on Tesla. We know Tesla could drop 50 points in one day. So let's see what happens. So continuation target for Tesla, 420.37, 417.50. Now we nuke down. We got that target on SPY all the way down to 690 and 65 cents. Those puts are printing now. Like I said, I'm here to give you levels, not here to press the button for you. So anything you do, make sure you have a plan, concrete plan behind it. How you doing, Gio? You should be in some good profit there. Make sure you don't go red on those, buddy. Yeah, I'm speaking. Are you speaking? Unknown aces. So down here about 690, you just got to be very careful. We dropped already 5 points on SPY already, up until 10 o'clock. That's quite a big move to the downside. So you don't want to go red in puts. If the volume comes right back in, I would hate to see you guys go red in those puts when they're up nicely from this entry, right? On the loss of 692.40. That's 2 points lower now. A lot of things are in free. Even mineral stocks are like CRML is down 13%. No one's holding that baby up today. Microsoft is down to a low day of 425. Even ServiceNow, they double beat. They raised guidance, still down 11% for the day. But ServiceNow is one that I'm ready to add to my position on ServiceNow soon, not today. A lot of names are just falling off. SMCI is a big name. Super Microcomputers down to 30 again. After bottoming out at 27, we hit 33 before it started rolling. But there's blood in the water. A lot of blood in the water today. Down to a new low of 689. Look at that. There's no buyer in sight at the moment. $721. Man, I would love to be you. That's really good. Now it's time to get out of here. Leave already, buddy. Don't give it back to the market. That's quality profit for the day. There's no need to give that back, man. That could give you a flight on out of here for a vacation. Or it can put you up in a nice beach resort for a couple of nights. Don't give that back. I'm up $800 for today too, so I'm actually cash on that Robinhood account now. I'm not buying anything yet. Tesla new low of day, totally just falling. Look at that. Gave up everything from earnings. Weekly, let's have a look. Let's get rid of all these levels. Weekly on the ribbon hasn't been bearish since here. Right? We got bearish back in last year in March. Now, if we close under 421 on the weekly, on this candle, if we close the week out below that, this can really come down to the 380s, 390s. Could definitely come down there, because that means we haven't turned bearish for some time. We've been in this nice market of bullishness on Tesla, riding the SMA 20 since July, like June, July of last year. Now we got our first potential sell side signal on the bigger time frames for Tesla right here. So if that decides to close out the week below, could be in free fall down to 380s at least, I would say, right here. That's pretty good demand and potential, maybe a potential swing, downside trade, not upside, downside. So maybe potential put trade, downside for a couple weeks. See if it holds this level as a target. If it drops that level, you just continue continue down. Let's see what Meta's doing. So that is where I'll be looking, not trying to jump in right now in the middle of two areas. For a downside move, I'd be just looking for a loss of that. So 716 loss for Meta. If we lose that area, don't forget where we came from yesterday. So we have room to come down to this, which is 713. So if we lose 716, we could drop down to there, play a put down to there. And then we also got to look at where we were at. We could come down, we can come down quite a bit here. We can come down to 701. We can come down to 690. We can come down to 677. We can gap fill. We can basically just fill in all these gains and come back down again. So we see how this plays out with Meta, but it is holding up over all of the other stocks. It's holding up the best. Probably because their earnings, their guidance. So as long as it holds this 716, then I still like it for upside. Hold. Now we got a little bit of buying volume coming on SPY finally. Maybe two green volume bars in a row. That's hard to find today. Well, Gio, you could have bought more, but you can start getting a bit more confident in the trading, and then you can scale up later, right? Once you start building that confidence in maybe one or two contracts consistently, then you can scale up a little bit, but still keep and then that's not risking, you're not risking more by that. You can just have your stop loss in place, so you're not so it doesn't feel risky to you at all, because you're just maxing out your risk at that point, right? So, even if you got in 5 contracts, if your stop loss is at 5%, that's your max risk overall for that trade. So it doesn't, eventually once you consistently get it down, and you consistently get 5 or 10 or 20 small trades in a row consistently based on some levels like this, then you can scale up, and then you can see better profits and be done for the day. Instead of trading looking for 10 different trades for the day, you just focus on one quality one, max that profit out, be done for the day, and move on. Go enjoy the frigid weather out there. Go make some snow angels if you're in the snow. New low of day coming up for SPY. Let's see more levels for SPY now. Let's go a bit further out the 15-minute time frame. We lost that. We lost that. This is maybe the next major. I mean, that's quite a move off this already, but potentially 687.30 based on this area here. Support, right? So we've seen a nice reaction off this line. Most reactive off this level so far, right? So that's why I put it there. Likes to bounce pretty nicely off this level several times. We got 3-minute, we're on the 3-minute time frame. We got nice green candle here, but look, we've still got more sell side coming in after it. Yeah, take care. Take care. I'm actually going to cut out a little early, about 10:20ish. I'm going to cut out of here. I think our trades are done for the day, or we don't want to force too much more, right? If you want to get into that coaching program, it's real. It's only I think it's under $40, right? It's not much. Let me share that information. Share that information in the comments. Put in there, let's see, error code. There you go, that's good. Here, maybe I can share. Oh, nice. Wow. There's the link, guys, if you want to get into the coaching. Very low price per month, but you're going to get consistency, right? You're going to build that consistency on learning a plan strategy, and then you get chats, you get weekly live streams, and then you also get my personal trades, access to that. Some Meta, Microsoft. Let's see what Microsoft is doing. Microsoft long term. I love this. I love that we're dropping off here long term. This could be a nice, successful ad. It's very bearish. Hopefully, there's a gap to fill. 394. And if you look at Microsoft on the monthly, like we got this red, but then we met with a buying signal right off this red, off the bottom of the ribbon. So we technically haven't been bearish since here, 22 on the monthly. So, I mean, we got this red signal, but we're also sitting on the red part of the ribbon. So this could be a nice, if we hold that ribbon low, that is 426.57. This could be a nice reversal off here. If we, like tomorrow, we start building off this 426. I like this opportunity and keeping the risk low. Just if we lose that 426, then you just cut out of it. You know, that's kind of what I may do here. Just needs to hold that 426 and change to today and tomorrow. And then Monday, potential reversal. They raised the price on Meta to 860. And SPY is finding a new low. If anyone's in those SPY puts, still finding a new low of day. We just got down to 688.97. So those puts, I entered and about 58% up on those puts, and I'm likely just to sell majority of my position here. It's what, 66% now, 691 puts for tomorrow. Just going to cut out of my position and leave a couple only, maybe 2 contracts out of 10, and look for continuation here down to that 687 total nuke down to 687.30. If we get back above 691, I just sell those last 2 contracts and be done with them. I think that will be my plan for those last 2 contracts. Unknown aces. How are you doing? How are you living out there? How's ethnical markets? How are you doing? You don't mess with options? That's okay. It's okay not to mess with options. If you're interested in options, you can also just start learning a little bit of the options, get your feet wet a little bit, paper trade them, get the levels down before maybe physically using your cash. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's unknown aces. He's here. So that's my plan for the last two contracts I have. I'm gonna look to sell, stop out of them if we get above 691 and we start trending back up. My max target on those two last contracts is at 687. So I either get stopped out with profit, or I take my profit at even higher returns. So it's either stop out here for a little bit less than I was getting before, or I get maybe 100% on those last two contracts. We'll see. And sorry for my scribbles on the charts. Easy way to do it. Starting to get a little bit more volume. Where are we? So you can just see that's the downwards trend that we're in on SPY. So we haven't broken the downward cycle, right? So it's still, we got this high up here, we got this lower low here, lower high, lower low. We just keep on going down. So if we can break that cycle, then we could be in the bottom for the day. Any questions before I jump on out of here? You guys are quiet today. Maybe you made some money. You focus on that. Hope so. I'm gonna be here for a few more minutes. I'm jumping out. Then I have the stream at 11 with the coaching. If you're on the fence about joining, you know, if you don't want to take advantage of the premium, the initial 50% off the premium, maybe jump into coaching, try that out, and then upgrade after that once you're more confident in your trading, you got a plan sorted out, then maybe you want to step it up to premium where you get more live streams, you get access to all the coaches within that premium subscription, and then you also get a lot more channels that you can take advantage of with tools, live streams, coaching, alerts, stuff like that within that's within premium. I got 0.4% today. I'm not going to try for more after my 2 days of loss. So you're on that 1% account challenge, kind of that 1% rule every day. That's what you're trying to meet for profits. That's good. Wish I could join you with that, but I am a little bit different with my strategy than the 1%, right? So if I see one big quality or two big quality stocks, I try to maximize as much as I can out that trade and not cut out 1%. I try to get a little bit more than that, but the 1% trading strategy can work very effectively. You just got to be very disciplined on that, right? Because if you get 1% or you're 5 days in a row 1%, you're up 5%, then you just deviate from your plan or your strategy, you can lose all that 5% in one day. So discipline is a need in that strategy for sure. But for me, if a momentum trade is moving up and it's up, and it's above 1%, it's 5%, 10%, 20%, I just raise my stop up. I'm guaranteeing my 1% at the end of the day, but I'm trying to max the profit out because you never know. Tomorrow may be a shitty day in trading, and you don't get that. Maybe you don't get your goal, but you got your whole week's goal in one day of solid trading. You don't have to trade every day. So, like this trade today, any one of the trades we talked about, Tesla, a nuke under 435, you met probably a whole month of your goal in one solid continuation trade today on Tesla, on SPY that we traded live here, even on Microsoft, any of those that we talked about, got yourself probably days and weeks of goals already. And it's not more risk. It's just a nice trend day. So you take advantage of it. Yeah, I feel it. And plus you're slowly learning and trying to get consistent at that. So starting off somewhere like that is good. Then you scale up after that. I bought Tesla 435 puts at 588 and sold at 11. Hell yeah, Jay Lee. I like you even more because you have my name in your profile name too. My name's Lee as well, so hell yeah. Left a lot of money on the table, but that's near on 100%. So you probably met your goal very easily with that trade. The only thing maybe you work on is if you feel like there's more downside, the chart is showing you more downside, then just maybe have that trade and stop behind to keep you in as long as possible, but guaranteeing you your goal, at least what you want. But you crush your goal. That's how good stuff. Good stuff. All right. I'm getting out of here before I try to jump into something. Let me stop myself. Service now is one that I'm interested in longer term. It's coming down. It's down to a low there for 114. I actually like to capture more of that bottom once it bottoms out. I'm looking at now L, which is a 2x, so it's leverage. A lot more. It's going to go by the 2x of the daily move. So you can see like this is dropped off, right? On now L. So once now bottoms, which we just lost this area today. Well, it was up here, and then earnings, it was up in the 130s, right? And now it dropped right down here again after earnings. So Service now is one that I like long term. They bought a lot of acquisitions for AI. They talked about it on their earnings if you want to get more information about it. But looking at, let's have a look at the monthly even. Potentially if we bottom out soon, around, I'm going to put a box around the top of that. That block here. If we bottom out, we haven't bottomed out at the top of the box, but maybe the bottom of the box is where we bottom out about 105. If it doesn't bottom out 105, maybe about 90. But this has potential here. Service now has potential to be a nice reversal off these levels. It could be off the level that it's at today, because if we look at that right there, those highs in 2021, if we hold that area today, which is 113, then potentially we can see a nice reversal off of there to play more upside back towards, the 120s, 130s. Again, if we don't hold that area, then we can look at that area next. We can look at that area next. So it's good to have some levels on service now. Potentially we can get it off here. And once we react, we want to see the reaction first before just jumping in on the retest. So if we get a positive reaction, then we can jump in service now around here or around here or around here. Really depends if we get some reaction here and we start pushing off, or we get some reaction off of $90 and we push off, then that's a potential trade there with a stop loss just under that level, keeping it very tight. And then here, if we come all the way down to 70, we can wait for the reaction, push off, and then put stop under these levels so that we're blocking our stop out at very low risk if it decides to fall. But like also RSI is very, oversold here. If you look at service now, we haven't been in these oversold conditions on the monthly for a long time. This is the lowest been. On the weekly, let's have a look at that. The weekly, we're very oversold. We're at 25, and the lowest it was at was in 2016. That was 24. So very close one to pay attention to. It could bottom out here around this RSI that it did here. And this was way back here. So I would be paying very close attention to a few of these indicators today. On service now. And then, once that bottoms out, if you want to take advantage of a 2x move, then you look for the now L, which is a 2x Granite shares, and you play this instead. Once we know that we got some reversal in service now, we play this. This will just be 2x the move instead. So this will give you a bigger gains in a short period of time on the reversal, but there's risk behind it because it's a 2x. So if it goes against you, it's a 2x down too. So just be careful there. You want to make sure that we are in a reversal before jumping into like a leverage 2x. But I like if we can hold above 113. They acquired 2-year low. They acquired a few companies. Their targets are still about 200, 195 I saw. They beat Q4 earnings, guides higher on AI. And we can look at like I think it's FinChat right here. And you can look at service now and go to now. You can look at financials. P is still a little high here, but we got 13% net income, 77% gross. I don't like that they have so much debt here. They have a lot of cash on hand. Let's have a look at their revenue. So you can see over the years, their revenue growth has been pretty superior here from 2016 all the way to 2025. So that's nice. The growth, what's growth been like? It's been going down a little bit on the growth side, but that's because we're getting up into these huge billion-dollar revenues. So it's not growing as much year over year. But we're still up here at 20% year over year increase. So this could be a quality name to go long. Net income's very strong as well. This is like a name to be watching for potential bottoms to go long. Just looking at the income statement, looking at what's the margins like on this. I don't know where the margins are on here. Free cash flow, they got a lot of free cash flow. Net income is very strong. There we go, margins. I believe also their margins got hit a little bit, but it still says 77.5 on the gross. I think the operating and net was a little bit hit, a little bit affected there. but they're still a very superior company, very strong. So one that I'm very interested to trade once we hit a bottom. Very strong company, acquired a few AI related stocks to obviously mitigate any of that AI taking some of their business. So they're trying to incorporate it as strong as possible inside of their model. I think it was funny where I saw somebody here. They announced a 5 billion share repurchase authorization with a media of 2 billion. They believe that there will be 2.2 billion AI agents in the world by 2030. Millions of those will be built on the ServiceNow platform. Yeah. Anyways, they go on and on and on. So, SPY, low of day, if you're still in SPY, low of day for SPY. I'm going to cut out of here because I got to get ready for the stream at 11 a.m. Hope you enjoyed some of these trades. Let's do more of it together soon. I will see you guys in the coaching stream. Are you looking at it as a swing? Yeah, we talk about that in the coaching. Let's talk more about ServiceNow in the coaching and review that. Okay, so I will see you there. And we do a little bit more digging on ServiceNow there. Okay, so see you guys at 11. Bye, guys.